Hey mamas, mommies to be, women and lovers of women everywhere. Janelle here with you to share another wonderful yoga pose for stretching, relaxation, release. When I was pregnant with my two sons, I used to have aches and pains in my legs from carrying all that weight. So this pose was one that I used to go to, just drop down low to the floor, and it would help loosen up all that tension that was in my legs. All the aches and pains would just dissipate, and it was just a nice release and reset. It's called Malasana, or squat, low squat, and I'm going to set you up for that pose today. I'm going to do show you a couple different ways to get into that pose. For today, you'll need your mat. If you don't have a mat, you can use your carpet, or if you don't have carpet, you can use cushions or towel under your knees, blocks or cushions again for support, or a towel. Or if you have a mat, you have an extra yoga mat. Sometimes I use the extra one as support. I roll it up and use that to sit on if I don't have my blocks present. So let's go ahead and jump into it. I'm going to start us out in table pose, tabletop, and in the last two videos this is where I started. If you haven't watched those, you can go ahead and watch those. This is where I started because it's a nice neutral position, and it sets us up for just about everything that we go into. So you have your wrist under your shoulders, knees under your hips, feet nice and flat pointing to the back of the mat. Your hands are shoulders width distance apart with fingers spread nice and wide pointing to the top of the mat. Your knees are hips distance apart. Your tailbone is nice and neutral, so you're not tucking it or poking it out. It's just nice and neutral, keeping your spine nice and straight. And we're looking out in front of us. You're going to inhale. I'm going to go through these postures nice and slow just so you can get a good feel for them. You can try all the variations that I show you, and then stick to the one that feels best for your body. If you do any of these postures and they cause any type of pain, please come out of the posture. Don't force your body to push through that pain. Listen to your body. It's telling you to pause, stop, maybe try a different route, but don't force your body to do what it doesn't want to do. So we're inhaling here. Tuck your toes, and on your exhale, you're going to just bring your tailbone back, walk your hands back, and you're going to shift, lifting your knees. You're pushing through your fingers, shifting your knees, opening up. And this is where you can have it set up already. I didn't set mine up, so bring it right underneath you to where your tailbone is, where your butt is going basically. And if you need to, especially for you expectant mothers, you'll need to adjust your feet as needed. You might bring it to the edge of the mat, or find that you need to bring it out a little bit further past the edge of the mat, and you're bringing yourself all the way back. You're inhaling to keep your spine nice and long, lengthen. You don't want to curve your back. You want to keep the integrity of your spine while supporting all of your body and baby in front of you if you're carrying a baby. And keep your hands rested on the mat or on the support that you have in front of you. If you have blocks, they're great because they give you different levels of support to use. So you can keep your hands here, and it's perfectly fine if you are on the balls of your feet. If your feet don't come down flat, that's perfectly fine. Over time, your body will gain more flexibility, but don't force yourself to come flat, especially if you're feeling pain there. Just allow your body to chill and ease into the pose. Alright, so we're here. Bring your hands to prayer, and you bring your elbows to the inside of your knee. Inhale. On your exhale, you're going to give yourself a nice stretch. just giving yourself a nice stretch. You're going to feel it here, opening up. You might feel some in your back, your lower back. Just remember to elongate your spine. Keep it nice and straight. And stay here as long as your body needs to. If you need a break from the posture, you want to bring your arms back, that's perfectly fine. Stay here as long as you need to. Bring your hands to the mat if you need to, or go all the way into the pose if you need to. Listen to your body, it will tell you what it's ready for. And to come out of this posture, come out of your Malasana. You exhale, bring your hands to the mat if they're not already down on the mat, and just walk your hands forward and bring your knees to the mat. Or back in table, untuck your toes, and if you want to stay here, stay here. You can also inhale, lengthen that spine, make sure it's nice and straight, and exhale, bring your tailbone back, using your support if you need it. Bring your tailbone back and down onto your support. We're in child's pose. You can stay up here. Inhale to lengthen your spine. You're always trying to keep your spine nice and straight. Or exhale. Again, for those of you carrying life in front of you, or if you just need some adjustment, feel free to bring those knees out a little more so you have some space in between. And as you exhale, you just walk your hands out in front of you to where your body says it's comfortable, and relax into the pose. If you're bringing your head down, again, use your support to bring your forehead down, or go all the way down to the mat and just inhale, exhale, and release into the posture. Whew. Stay here as long as you need. And when you're ready to come up, on your inhale, you walk your hands back to your body, keeping your spine nice and straight, and just sit up nice and straight. Now, I'm going to shift gears a bit. The last few poses I've showed you in the last couple of videos, we've stayed down on the mat. So this time around, I'm going to switch it up and show you how to get into Malasana from standing. So, I would do this all the time when I was pregnant in the kitchen cooking, and I needed a break. I would just drop down. So, your feet are shoulders width distance apart. Again, to give yourself space, just walk your feet out. You want your toes, it's kind of, your toes are pointing diagonally out, your heels are pointing diagonally in, so it's kind of creating a V. Inhale, and you can bend your knees a little bit. You don't want to lock them, just keep them nice and soft. And on your exhale, just bring your hands down, forward fold. Again, notice that I'm bending my knees as needed. Some of you will need to have your knees a lot more bent. That's perfectly fine. Use your support in front of you as needed. My feet are already spread wide enough, preparing me to bring my tailbone down to the mat. Exhaling, bringing my tailbone just so you get right down. Whew. And I'm having a seat on my support, which relieves a lot of the pressure, stress. Adjust yourself as needed. Inhale again. You can bring your elbows to the inside, hands in prayer to give yourself an extra stretch. You're pushing out on the insides of your knees. Remember to keep your spine nice and long. Adjust your body as needed. If you need to come out for a moment, lean back, that's fine. If you need to come forward, up on the balls of your feet, on your toes, that's perfectly fine. Do what your body requires of you. If you're here on the balls of your feet, leaning forward a bit on your hands, feel free to still bring those elbows to the inside of the knees, and you can actually just allow gravity to help you open up. You actually feel the stretch more when you allow this to happen. Gravity is, instead of you having to push, gravity is opening up your hips for you. So it gives you a bit of a wider stretch, and you can just allow your body to inhale and exhale, relax into this pose right here. And to get out of your Malasana, just like before, you can bring your hands forward and go to table pose and then go back into child's pose if you would like, or we can return to standing. So exhale, bring your hands down to the mat, and inhale, lift your tailbone up to the sky, shifting your feet forward as needed. Again, using your support as needed. And as you're here, you inhale, you roll up vertebrae by vertebrae, allowing your spine to get a nice stretch as you roll up. If you want additional stretch, just raise your hand up. Inhale, stretch it out, and exhale, bring those hands to either side. I like to shake it out after I do anything like that. All right, my knee's still cracking, that's okay. So I hope that pose, Malasana, or squat, was helpful to one of you, if not all of you. Again, it is a wonderful posture for expectant mothers, or for mothers that are not yet pregnant, but prepping to be pregnant. This pose helps to prep your body for what's coming. It helps to open up your hips, so when you're ready to birth baby, it's that much easier for you. It's just a wonderful pose overall. I use it now at the end of my hardcore workouts. That's one of the postures that I go to, just to loosen up and stretch everything that I just finished working out. So I love Malasana pose. Hopefully you'll be able to incorporate it into your daily practice. As I said before in my previous video, all these postures that I'm showing you, you can, just like we flowed through today, went from Malasana, we went from table to Malasana. We didn't incorporate cat-cow. You could incorporate it in there. You could go right from the table into cat-cow, then into your Malasana, and somewhere along the line, later on down the road, I'll add all of them together, and you can follow along. But as you go through, feel free to add them together, mix them up, create your own flow that works best for you and your body and baby, or whatever it is you are trying to birth, be it a business, a new way of life, a new part of yourself, whatever it is. Use these poses, these postures to help you get into a routine, set up some discipline, release, become more flexible, not just physically, but overall. If you have any questions or any requests or questions, please feel free to reach out. Until next time, peace.